So what is it exactly that you do that they're looking up to? Because Kate also mentioned at the end of the show that she dates celebrities and baseball players and such and such.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you saw that? Like,
yes, I
all of a
did.
sudden she comes out like, oh, yeah, and I used to date the pitcher of the Boston. I was like, I knew it, you little hoe. Like,
She was waiting to say something. So
exactly.
is this what Natalie does?
No, this is,
Listen, I'm not here to judge you either, girl. I just want to say I'm not here to judge you.
No, the thing about it is like, I grew up like around athletes. I was an athlete, like, I was an athlete myself. And when I say an athlete, like, I was one of the top soccer players in the country out of high school. I went to one of the best schools in the United States for soccer. I went to USC. So my whole life, all I've been around was athletes. And so, being a student athlete, your schedule is crazy. So I tend to always kind of fall into a trap where, like, I was in the, in the whole student athlete world. So I was always around athletes. And so it's hard for me to not, like, it's kind of weird. Like, it's not that I only date athletes, because actually my boyfriend that I was on and off with on the show was not an athlete. He was far from an athlete. He was a musician who played the guitar, who, played live, and he was completely different. But that was the first time I actually ever dated somebody that wasn't an athlete. And
Are you talking about
my
the kid from Sesame Street?
Yes.
And he's also from the group
Imagine.
Imagine. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And
are
so
you guys
we
still
dated
going
for
out?
Well, no, I'm single right now, but we're
Okay.
actually, we still talk. We're friends, but no, I'm single.
Okay, so he's the only non-athlete.
He's the only, and before that, I only dated one guy ever in my life before that. So I was definitely my whole life like a tomboy, and I don't think a lot of people catch that on the show. They think that I'm like this. They watch the show and they're like, oh, Natalie, she's just like, I don't know how people view it, but I was definitely a tomboy, an athlete. Used to go to class in my soccer shorts. Like, I was a total tomboy my entire life. I grew up with an older brother who played football, who played at USC. Like, for me to watch this show and people not know who I am and not know me.
That's weird.
It's funny because it's so hard for me to explain to them. Like, no, I don't just date athletes, but that's all I've been around my whole life. I'm a total athlete, a tomboy. Like, I put my hair in a ponytail every day. I don't care how my edges look. Like, people make comments to me on Twitter. They're like, she needs to put her edges down. I'm like, girl, I've played soccer my whole life. I have never worried about my edges, and I'm not going to now. So it's just funny to me how people, like, she thinks she's cute, she's da-da-da-da.
People care a lot about what you're doing now and things, certain people like it, certain people don't.
Exactly.
So what athletes have you been with? Can you tell us some of the athletes that you might have dated? Just a few, girl.
You know what? Before my ex-boyfriend Olamide, I used to date one of the quarterbacks at USC. He actually ended up transferring schools, but I dated a quarterback. He was one of the only, I think there's only a few black quarterbacks that USC ever had, but he was one of the black quarterbacks at USC. And other than that, I had an older brother who was only a couple years older than me, so he wasn't playing that. Like, he was like the big star football player at USC, and like, he wasn't playing that. So it wasn't like I could have just been, running amok through campus. Not at all. Like, he shut that down immediately.
Okay.
So it wasn't, I went to school with Reggie Bush. I went to school with Wendell White. I was in the same recruiting class with some of the top players.
Are you still friends with Reggie? Are you still friends with Reggie? He's going to Super Bowl.
We're college alumni. I definitely know him. We're friends. When I see him, it's like, what up? We've ran into each other a few times, but it just kills me how, like, people will make up rumors. I see blogs, pictures get posted, and I'm just like, man, if people only really knew that I'm like the little sister.
Funny. So are you friends with Kim? You're friends with Kim?
No, I don't know Kim. Never met her.
Okay, but you still,
sisters before.
Right. So sometimes people get the wrong impression all the time of females. It happens. You're just cool with somebody and ends up like that. What happened with Chris Brown? Were you guys just cool? Were you and Chris just cool, or because you had those pictures and then he was saying no? It was. So yeah. Talk about it, girl.
We were like friends, hanging out, getting to know each other, and then before things got even escalated to anything even bigger, it like exploded all over the internet.
Was that because of you, or?
No, it was the fact that I had a show coming out, and I think with the media knowing that I was like supposed to be the outbreak star of the season, they were just digging and digging for anything they could find, like pictures on my Facebook or pictures on my Twitter.
Right.
When I first started Twitter 7 weeks ago, I really only had 500 followers. Like, you know what I mean? So all of a sudden, everybody and their mom is like looking through my tweets from way back and just trying to find anything they could find. I was just like, oh my God.
That is crazy. So do you talk to him now? Have you guys spoke about what happened or?
We have mutual friends. I'd rather keep my distance, and because there were just harsh things that were said, and as like somebody who I thought was a friend of mine, I don't like how people like try to save their selves or try to make themselves look better.
I did notice that. Yeah, I did notice that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it really wasn't that serious for you to take it that far. And even an apology at this point, like, you can kiss your apology goodbye. Like, I'm cool with it. I don't, like, so where I'm standing, like, I'm cool off of all of it. But, like, obviously, you know, now that things are picking up for me and other stars are looking in my direction, I think he kind of feels like he's played himself. So whatever, he could play himself all day. I'm not really tripping off him.
I don't know.
On to the next one.
I don't know. Behind that tone of voice, it sounds like you may kind of, you know, have maybe something.
I don't know.
Something.
All I know is that when I saw my direct inbox and I saw a few new little people pop in there, I said, oh yeah. And your little friend over there played himself, so you can let him know that.
Okay, so you're saying Chris Brown reached out to you to apologize, and he may still have feelings for you.
I don't know. Maybe indirectly, or maybe direct message apology.